So today I'm taking some time out while I'm here in Shaman, Morocco, to do this brief recording. For those of you who are either activists or who are participating in psychedelics or quite simply are privacy conscious users and would like to know in brief why I do not recommend Telegram. It is not safe. Use Signal, as the title tells you. We have noticed a huge traffic. In fact, the actual founder, it's two brothers who founded the Telegram. Telegram, brief history of it, started in 2013. It is registered and based in London. However, the team, I believe, operate in Dubai. There's an article that I will try and, link up to this particular video that would help you if you are like me, somebody who likes to research and study in detail, and then from there create your own, sort of inquiry leads, if you like. Here's the reason why Telegram is not safe. And for this particular exercise, I want you to use your imagination with me and imagine two empty warehouses, okay? Same as WhatsApp, really. The back doors, when they say the back doors are wide open, you could offer end-to-end encryption. You can do all of those necessary requirements to reassure security of digital privacy. But at the same time, where's the default? We found this out, these back doors that were wide open through a Supreme Court case back in late 2017 in the United States. WhatsApp was caught red-handed, and Telegram is no different. The chats and the conversations and everything that you think you are having in complete privacy and in secure settings are stored. They are stored in the Telegram's cloud servers, same as WhatsApp does the same thing. Signal, on the other hand, does not store your chats, conversations, or any of that stuff. It doesn't. So the authorities, should they come knocking on the door, and all of these operational tools and programs have to apply when the law comes to say we are chasing some terrorists. I mean, obviously this is the kind of like, scenario around the globe at the moment. Then they have to open up, those kind of cloud servers, if you like, or as I would like you to imagine, a truck, an empty warehouse, if you like, where all your conversations, encrypted or not, end up being stored. Telegram, basically, by storing your chats and conversations and all of that, can read them. So while it doesn't read them between the users, you're messaging a friend and a friend is messaging you, that communication process, that time when it's been communicated, has been encrypted, but when it lands on their servers, then they can access the conversations and the chats. And should the authorities come along and say, we want to see what, so-and-so has been chatting about, they are obliged by law to open the door to that warehouse where all your conversations and chats are stored. The difference with Signal is that it doesn't have that warehouse or truck where they, load all your chats and conversations. So yes, while the authorities come and knock on the door and say, we would like to see what so-and-so is talking about, Signal would say, yes, for sure, go ahead. And they find nothing there because they do not store your chats and conversations. We have been through this so many times. As somebody who's ex-police, and I have spent considerable amount of time before I came into my spiritual healing path, gave up nearly, to be quite frank with you, because nobody wanted to engage. Well, not nobody. I mean, the majority where I have nothing to hide, those ones who, quite simply, in my opinion nowadays, basic human rights are wasted on. Because if you do not value your right, at least try and respect and value ours, or at least do a little bit of checkup and read up before you start just following the herd. Recent information came to me that some very good friends of mine who are very dear to me and quite intelligent have fallen for the trick of just follow the traffic. You know, Telegram is very happy because it surpasses 500 million subscribers, and the one of the founders himself has come out and stated that in January alone, in 72 hours, they saw 25 million people join Telegram, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. But who is doing any research on the actual privacy protocols, or what does this open source and encryption and all of these pros and cons? It doesn't seem like anybody is, because somebody else is joining Telegram, then I'm going to go and join them. As of today, I have deleted Telegram. I shouldn't have even had it on my phone. If I'm honest with you, I completely forgot about it. It was one German friend of mine, contact, who asked me to use it 2 years ago or something, and it's been sitting there ever since. And people have been adding me to their groups, adding me to their chats, and I am not going to take part on a group or conversation that I fully know is not safe or secure. Again, it's up to you if you want to go and just follow the herd, or you want to listen to somebody who has been through a lot of shit. When I came out from the police in Korea, and I was surveyed and monitored all the time, that I have had no choice but to actually go underground and seek some valid and correct kind of courses of action as to how to communicate with my contacts safely and securely, and so on and so forth. And as such, I've been using Signal thanks to WikiLeaks and their advice since 2015, and I haven't left it yet. There are other secure messaging apps like Wire. Please do a little bit of research, because otherwise I'll be sitting here trying to convince you of something that I am 100% sure about. As long as you keep your phone safe, you create a pin on the app, so your conversations, the only way anybody can access your communications on Signal is if you lose your phone and you don't have a pin on Signal, the app itself, or you're not being mindful when you're actually using it. It's really simple. If you need to create disappearing messages because the topic is a bit sensitive, then use that. Again, it will not be stored, and like Telegram, where it's actually stored. Even your the encryption is there with the phone calls and the secret messages, if you like. But again, the back door is wide open. It's wide open in that they will collect and store all of your conversations and chats and stick them on their cloud server. So if they can read them, they are available to be read by others. Really, that's the message that I really want to send to all of you, is this is the simplest way I can describe why Telegram is really not that safe. Other than the fact, of course, they make available all of your the data, the user's data, i.e. your IP address, your telephone number, and heaven knows where else, obviously, what you've had for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The others, Signal, although it requires your phone number, and sometimes you could use just your IP or something like that, that's absolutely fine. You can identify the user. But there are so many other ways you can actually hide your IP address completely. Again, we could be sitting here talking forever, but use a VPN, a virtual personal network. Learn. I'm not technical. I'm middle-aged. But like I said, I've had to learn, and I'm still learning. All it takes is for you to just dig a little bit deeper before you can start, communicating on platforms where you think you are completely safe, when in fact you're not. All of those conversations and chats are not safe on the Telegram servers, their operating systems. There are so many pros and cons to this. And one very important point as well. Signal and Wire, for instance, have had to have third-party audits. For some strange reason, according to this article by what they called restoreprivacy.com, which I will add to the description of this video very briefly, they are perplexed as to why there's been no third-party audits. And so, see, alarm bells keep ringing. I've mentioned the registration requiring the phone number and the IP addresses and so on and so forth. Again, I'll just go back to Signal and why it's really a lot safer than Telegram for those reasons I've just given you. I mean, even if Signal team want to read your messages, they're not going to be able to, because again, they don't store them, and that's the beauty of Signal. Yes, some people have come forward with some articles saying that it's a government sort of operation. heaven knows why they would say that. All of the encryption tools and applications and so on and so forth out there, including Tor and so on, they all have been used by government bodies in the past. Tor, the onion router, which is the most sophisticated encrypted, anonymous use them, quite simply. Equivalent to Google. If you want to do research and you don't want anybody finding out what you're looking at and so on and so forth, that used to be used in the 70s, if I remember, by the US Navy. All of these encryptions, of course, have been used by governments, and they will be funding because they are very intrigued and always looking for ways to better secure their communication. This doesn't mean that Signal is giving them your information. They don't store it, whereas Telegram does. And while I'm at it, I have had to literally revive off the record iCow, a digital privacy campaign that I started just before 2015 in anticipation of the British government's introduction of a legislation known as IPA, the Investigatory Powers Act. That's the day I stated that the British government or the British state had turned full-blown to dictatorship. We lost democracy. That day, when that legislation, it quite simply said that we now have the power to survey 66 million Brits in the country, whether you're a criminal suspected of such act or not, and something I completely disagree with, along with many, many voices out there. Please click on Off the Record iCow, keep scrolling down until you find a post where we have laid down some pretty good security tools for you to use. For every Google communication tool, there is a fully encrypted equivalent to it. So instead of using Google, you can use DuckDuckGo, you can use Firefox, you can use Tor, you can use many things. For Gmail, you can use simplest, there are complicated, really super, secured ones such as PGP, the pretty good privacy, or the Swiss accounts such as ProtonMail. ProtonMail is very secure. If you pay for a small fee, $4 or something a month, you can actually have communication between you and other Gmail or Hotmail or Yahoo's and all of those dangerous tools, as I would call them. It will encrypt your communication and theirs. I can go on and on and on, but literally for every Google app, there is a fully encrypted. All you have to do is just set some time aside and listen to this recording. If you have any questions, I will do my best to try and answer, but I doubt very much I'm going to have a lot of time at the moment because I'm trying to build a non-profit organization from scratch and hold shamanic ceremonies and being away from home as well. And I have a cat that's given birth to 4 kittens. It's full-time responsibility. I really hope that this makes a little bit of sense for you guys. I know I've gone on for more than 13 minutes, but it's really, really worth taking some time to look into what I am trying to say to you. And it's up to you, once again, whether you want to listen to somebody who was hounded down and surveyed and monitored constantly by my former employers at New Scotland Yard, or you want to just go and read somebody's blog from Australia who tells you some sort of, theory that is non-substantiated with zero evidence or such things to back it up and, keep your communication secure. You will not find me on Telegram, and I hope that will serve as a big, major kind of warning. That's all I have to say for the moment. I really hope that you heed this advice and spend few minutes, looking into what advice I'm giving you here. That's about it. Thank you very much, and wishing you all the best with your safe and secure communications. Take care.